Yeah, good morning. Good morning, all. Online students, is my voice is loud and clear? Online students, could you please confirm? Done. Right, guys. So let's start the session. So in the last class, we are discussing about the SQL, and we have seen the introduction to SQL. And within the SQL, the important point is data security, and the main difference between the Excel versus database. What are the database we are having? The difference between the SQL versus database is majorly with the security. So if you take the Excel sheet and when you share to others, who is going to change that one and what purpose they are changing, we don't know. But whereas in the database, the person who is changing that one, we can clearly know, right? That is the first point. Second point is within the SQL, okay, who are working on the SQL, that is, we have already discussed the types of data. Within the structured data, count, continuous, categorical, and time series will be there. And whoever the person is working on the database, the first step in the database is in terms of like this, where you are going to have to create the database and the tables. First, we should know the schema. What is the database schema and what is the ER diagram? And that is the first step. Second step, based on this ER diagram only, we are going to create the tables. So we should know the database schema, step one, in order to create the tables. Okay, create database is not a problem, but to create the tables, take the heading, to create a table, to create a table, to create a table, to create a multiple tables, to create the multiple tables, instead of create a single table, create the multiple tables in the database. In database, first we should know schema. Step one is we should know schema and ER diagram, and along with that data types. What are the different data types and what are the constraints and keys? What are the different types of keys are available? So once we should know these things, what is the database schema? The database schema is nothing but ER diagram. Okay, schema or ER diagram, any one. Okay, visual representation of schema is nothing but ER diagram. So what are the things we should know means one, schema or ER diagram. Two, we should know each column what is the data type. Three, we should know each column constraints. Now what is this keys and constraints and data types? Everything we are going to cover in the today's class. Four, we should know what are the different types of keys are available and what is the meaning of key. Once we know all these things, then we can create the table. From that, we can create the table. First step is we should know all these things. Okay, followed by step two, we should know the commands. What are the different SQL commands? That is how to create commands. So in today's class, we are going to understand. In the last class, we have completed the schema or ER diagram. In today's class, we are going to cover the three parts along with the what is meant by commands and how to install the database. Installation also we are going to cover in the today's class. And tomorrow is a holiday of festival, that is Diwali festival. Tomorrow is a holiday, and day after tomorrow we are going to discuss the queries, starting with the practical part of SQL from day after tomorrow. And next 4 days to 5 days, it will be the practical part of SQL. And the last day of SQL will be the how to connect the database to the Python. And how to do this, everything we'll discuss in detail one by one. Let's start. First one is data types. Okay, let's understand what is the data types and what is the purpose of data types. Why we should learn the data types means, here the main important point is in the pandas or in the Python. Okay, simply to say in Python or in the Excel sheet. If you are considering an Excel sheet, Let's take an example of one of the Excel sheet like this. Now here in the Excel sheet, I'm keeping the heading called as age. That is nothing but age of the person. Every person age, assume, that is the column name. Now, the age of the person means what would be the numbers? Like, for example, if you are having age of the person like 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, what are the number? 0 to 100 or 0 to 150 or 200, like this will be there. But for example, here I'm writing a 11, something. Maybe child will be there, maybe children's will be there, or adults will be there, anything. But whether SRK will be there as a age? No. But in the Excel sheet, it is going to accept that one. Anything will be accepted. Can the age can be dot dot dot? Like this, the data will be accepted in the Excel sheet. Now what happens means, since it is accepting any value in that cell, if you give the question mark, if you give the greater than symbol and yes, R, if you give in terms of 1, 2, 3 and dot dot dot, yes, if you write like this also, any value it is accepting in the Excel sheet inside the cell, any value. But in the data type, what we are in the database, what happens means, we are going to write the age, the column name as age. Along with that, we are going to specifically mention the data type also, that is int. In the database, we are going to write like this. Then what happens means, now what are the numbers you are trying to insert? It will accept. Whenever it comes to the SRK, it will throw the error. It is going to give this one, it is not fitted because it is not a int data type. So that is one of the advantage. So here each column is predetermined with the data types. Predetermined means first only you are deciding what should be the data type of that column. Now what happens if like this is there, what is the advantage you are going to get means, there is a less probability of getting the wrong data. In Excel sheet, there is a high probability of getting the wrong data, and more amount of data cleaning has to be done in the Excel if the data was loaded in the Excel. But if the same data is loaded in the database, less number of data errors will be there. So data cleaning would be somewhat easy comparatively. This is one of the advantage. Is the point is clear? So here, what are the data types we are having? We must always specify the type of data, means data type that will be inserted in the each column of the table. While creating the data type, while creating the table itself, the first table, whatever you are going to create now, the first table only, you have to specifically mention the column name along with the data type. For example, you are writing the query like this. These are the queries. Different SQL queries we are going to write. The first query we are going to write is create table sales. The table name. In the table name, what is the first column name is purchase number is the first column name. Along with the column name, I have to mention the data type. That is the query which we have to write. This is the syntax. So create table and table name followed by column with the data type, mandatory. Without data type, if you try to execute also, it will throw the error. In the SQL, every column is predetermined with the data type. Whereas it is a static programming. Okay, whereas in the Python, it is a dynamic programming, means data type will be selected automatically based on the value. But here it is not like that. Okay, it is not like that. It will not select automatically like that. Is the point is clear? So we have to mention. Now, for example, if you are having the strings, so I told you what are the different values are possible within the structured data, what are the different types of values are possible. You are having with respect to 4 types of values. What are the 4 types of values means? One is count, second one is continuous, third one is categorical, fourth one is time series. Only 4 possibilities of types of values are possible. Either the data should be count, either the data should be continuous, either the data should be categorical or time series. Only these are the 4 possibilities are there. If you want to try to insert any other also, it is not possible. Only these 4 possibilities are there. So for 4 possibilities, for each of them, what is the data type if you understand? Completed. For count, what type of variables, what is the data type we have to use? For continuous, what data type we have to use? For categorical, for time series. Okay, so let us start with the first one is, for each of them, data types. Data types are decided based on the values what you are going to load in that particular column. For example, age column is there. Age is a continuous variable or count variable? It is a continuous variable. Continuous variable. How to decide? Continuous counter. Sir, both are in the number only. No, sir, I'm getting confused with the count and continuous means very simple. Single value will make sense or interval is making sense. I told you that. Single value making sense means how many students are there in this class with age of 22, age of 23, age of 24, age of 25. Like that, if I ask how many students are age of 22 exactly, how many students with age of 23, how many students exactly with age of 24, how many students with age of 25. If I ask like this is best, or how many students are less than 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, how many are there? This is best. Which one is making sense for you while doing the analysis? That one will be the type. If interval is making sense for you for that particular column, just imagine, just take an example. Age column is there. In the age, generally you only think some 4 or 5 numbers you think. Individual values will make the sense or interval is making the sense. Interval means 20 to 30. That is called as interval. 20 to 30 or 20 to 25. Starting point to ending point. In between, decimals also will be included. Infinite number of values will be included. 20.1 will be there, 20.2 will be there, 20.5 will be there. Multiple values will be there. So that is making sense, or with respect to this is making sense, just you can understand. And based on that, single value is making sense means single value separately is called as category, which is called as discrete. Discrete count. If overall interval is making sense means interval is considered only for continuous variable. For continuous variable only interval, because infinite values will be there between them. Continuation flow of values. Is the points are clear? Continuation flow of values will be there. Now, what are the data types we are having? Data types will be decided based on the value. What you are going to insert in that column. What type of values you are going to insert in that column. From that, we have to fix the data type. So, if you are fixing the categorical, means text data, whether it is nominal or ordinal, you are trying to insert in that column categorical data. For categorical data means which is nothing but string type or text type. Text. So when you are trying to insert the categorical, which is either string or text, so each character, each one character, whether in that character dot might be there, special characters might be there, number might be there, anything can be there. Each character is considered as one symbol. One character is called as one symbol in the text. One symbol takes the 1 byte of space. So for example, James is there, 5 symbols. Jackson is there, 7 symbols. 7 symbols means 7 bytes. 5 symbols means 5 bytes. That much of amount of space it is going to take. Now here we are having two types. One is called as char and second one is called as varchar. Now what is meant by char? Char means fixed data type. What is meant by fixed storage? The meaning of fixed storage means within the char, you are having in terms of what are the value you insert. Okay. What are the value you are trying to insert? It is going to use in terms of same amount of bytes. For example, let us take here an example. Okay. What is the example is name. Name of the person. Okay. And I'm writing here char. In the bracket, I'm writing in terms of 10. Now, what is meaning of 10 means that is the maximum number of characters. It cannot accept more than that. For example, if I write inside the database, this is not Excel guys. In the Excel, anything will be accepted. Forget about the Excel. If it is same thing is in the database, inside the database, what happens means, if you write here char and if you write here Siva, okay, char of 10. What is char of 10 means? 10 means maximum number of characters. What is meant by char? Now char means in terms of if you have written the Siva also, actually Siva means how many symbols? 4 bytes. But how much bytes it is going to take means 10 bytes it will take. It is fixed. For example, if you take SRK, how many bytes it has to take actually? 3, but it will take 10 only. Fix. If you write Siva space Rama, total how many characters? 9 characters. In this case also 10 only. Siva space Rama and space. Total 10 characters. In this also 10 only. For example, if you are trying to insert Shiva space, Rama space, K, first it will throw the error. It is not possible. It is going to give the error. It is not possible. Because you are trying to insert 11 characters. So when you are trying to insert more than 10, it will throw the error. If you are trying to insert any number less than 10 characters, it will fix the 10 characters. But whereas the same name, varchar, if I am using the varchar of 10, if I am using the varchar of 10, now in this case, I am having with respect to Shiva. Now in this case, what happens means 4 characters are there, so 4 only it will take. Now was SRK is there, only 3 characters it will take. Shiva space Rama is there, exactly 9 characters only it will take. Shiva space Rama space is there, it is going to take in this case also 10 characters. But when you try to insert in terms of Shiva space Rama space K, when you try to insert this one, in this case also it will throw the error, because here also maximum number of characters is only 10. But what is the difference means? It is fixed storage, it is variable storage. Based on the number of characters, the storage will be different. That is the difference. Is the point is clear? So char of 5 means maximum 5 bytes. So James you are using 5. Bob you are using, though it is 3 numbers also, still 5 only. Char means fixed. Whatever the number you are writing, that many bytes will be used for every value. Every value. How many values are there? That many values. Next, James. James you are using here 5 and automatically here 5. But Bob, here you are using 3 characters means it will use only 3 bytes. Means now using the varchar, what happens? Space will be reduced instead of char. Then what is the use of char, sir? Char will do in terms of advantage is faster. The advantage of char is faster. Now if you ask the question, tuple is faster or list is faster? Which one is fast? If you ask this question, tuple is fast. Why? Because it is fixed storage. Now, sir, how, sir? Just let us see. Now, how to check the time within the Python? How to check the time? So let's take an example. One of the example. So here I'm going to take the list of 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 values. Now to process these 4 values, let us see how much time it will take. How to check the time is percentage time it. We have to write time it. How much time it has taken to process that one, we are going to get like this. Now, if you write like this, you are going to get the how much time it has taken. And let us see how much time it has taken means 66.8 nanoseconds in order to execute the for loop. For each and every loop means for each and every value it has to do something means how much time it will take? 66.8 nanoseconds. Now the same thing I'm going to give here by using the tuple. How much time? 10.1 nanoseconds. Which one is faster? Tuple is faster or list is faster means tuple is faster. Is the point is clear? Sir, why sir? Because see here in this class, if there is a possibility of modifications, in this room you can do the modifications. You will have the idea to what to be done the modification. If there is no possibility of modification only, are you going to waste the time for how to do the betterization in this class? If there is a possibility, we will start thinking what are the possibilities, how we can make this room more looking very nice, what are the other things we can do, all these things. If there is no possibility, everything is locked, you can't even change anything, not even one thing. If you want to change the paint of the wall also, you can't do. Everything is locked. You can't change anything minute. Then what? Automatically, you will not think about the classroom, how we have to decorate or how we can make the better looking appearance look. You can't think all these things. There is no possibility of that. Is the points are clear? Now, whereas this one, okay, char and varchar. So char is faster. And in the char, what is the maximum number of bytes? That is bracket you can write is 255. Within the varchar, you can write 65,535. Okay. And please take a note of this. The maximum bytes of char is 255 and maximum number of bytes of varchar is with respect to 65,535. And char is faster. The same thing will be uploaded in the drive. Notes will be uploaded as it is in the drive. So you don't need to take exactly in the rectangular box and you don't need to draw the same table like this as it is. So just you can write char is back at maximum number of characters of 255 where it is faster. Now next we are having in terms of anam. Third one is anam. What is meant by anam? Data type is called as anam. Means in this bracket we are going to write the limited number of categories. So for example, in the website, you are having a try to insert a value, but here you are having that there is a scroll down option. Let's take an example. I'm giving the gender. Column name is gender. In the application form or in the website, I have given the gender and I asked the person to fill the value. In the backend, what I have done is I have taken the same thing, gender, as varchar. Varchar of maximum the gender will be of 10 characters or something I have taken like this. Okay, gender varchar of 10. Now what happens means one person will enter male, caps lock M. One person will enter complete all the caps locks, that is MALE. One person will enter in terms of small letter MALE. Now first you are going to get MALE, MALE, small MALE, and some people will enter only M. They'll not even enter male also. They'll enter only M. Some persons will enter in terms of don't know. Something they will write like this. I will not tell you. Why I have to tell you? They'll enter like this. So there is a possibility. Now, when there is a possibility like this, what happens? We are going to get the more amount of dirty data in the future to do the analysis or to do anything. Generally, why will store the data? What is the purpose of storing the data? Means to use that one. After everything was completed, to use that one. That is the reason we'll collect. If there is no use of doing anything with that data, then what is the use of storing them? Why we are writing the notes means to study in the future. If you don't study in the future, then what is the purpose of writing the notes? There is no use, right? Now, similarly here, generally we'll write the data. What are the data we are going to collect to store that value? Now here we are having like this. Now instead of that, if I give here male and female like this, in the scroll down option, I'm giving this one. Now what happens? Within these two only the person has to select. They can't enter as per their choice. Limited. They are fixed. Only in this only you have to select any one. Now in this case, what I'm going to use means instead of varchar, here I'm going to use anam. Anam of male, comma, female. So within these two only it has to be used. For example, you are having in terms of Z, X, something you are having. Okay, in the scroll down, 4 options are there. Write the same thing in the 4 options. One is in terms of M, F, Z, X. Like this, you write the 4 options. Sir, in the bracket, only 2 options we have to write. No need, any options. But within that options only, the data has to be inserted. For example, if I have locked the anam, for example, assume again this is the database. I have given for this column anam of I, comma, J, comma, K, comma, M. I have given the 4 characters like this. I, J, K, comma, M. Now within these 4 only it has to accept. It cannot come out of that. So here if you try to insert A, it will throw the error. Any other things if you are trying asking, it will throw the error. In the application form, What are the scroll down is there, that one only you have to select. Other than that, if you try to type something, it will not accept. That is the code they have written. In the backend, they have written the code in that way, not to accept. Wherever you are trying to get the error, so for example, you are trying to insert I, accepted, J, accepted. You are trying to insert B, not accepted. It will throw the error. When you try to submit in the application, it will throw the error. Or if you're trying to write the SQL query, it will throw the error. Okay. These only it is going to accept limited number of characters. I mean, limited number of categories. What are the categories you are having? Those categories we have to write. In the scroll down, how many options are there? All the options will be written in the enum. Right? So MySQL will throw an error if you try to attempt to insert any value different from M and F. Okay. Next one is integers. So for strings or for categorical, what are the three data types we are having is, one is char, second one is varchar, and third one is enum. These are the three options which we are having. Out of these three, any one you have to use as per your requirement. Next one comes with the count variable. For count variable, what we have to use? For count variable, we are using the int. The data type is int. In the int, we are having the signed and unsigned int. Signed means it will accept both positives and negatives. Unsigned int means it will accept only the positive values. If you try to store any negative value, it will throw the error. If you try to insert, for example, age column is there. Age column, I'm going to write clearly unsigned int. Unsigned int means only positive. If a person try to insert -25, it will throw the error. If instead of you are not writing unsigned, what happens? It is going to take default as signed and it will accept even the negative values also. Default is signed. Signed is default. Unsigned only we have to specifically mention. Now, what is the use of all these things means? We are trying to reduce the dirty data. If unsigned int is there, so that we will get in terms of only the positive numbers. We will not get the negative numbers. Is the point is clear, everyone? Now, next one is integers. We are having in terms of integers. Now, what is meant by integers? Integers means where you are having in terms of only the without decimal value. So integer data types are signed by default, that is both positives and negatives, and particularly unsigned you have to mention. In that int also we are having different types of int. Tiny int, small int, medium int, and big int. Okay, and each type of, if you are selecting this one, okay, here I am selecting the serial number is the column name. Side I am writing the int, assume I have given the int. I am taking the serial number 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. For each of them, how many bytes will be used means, for 1 how many bytes means 4 bytes. For 2, 4 bytes. For 3, 4 bytes. For this one, 4 bytes. Total how much amount of space? 16 bytes of space will be used. But instead of the same serial number, I am using the tiny int. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. If I am using, now what happens in this case means it is going to use one byte only. It is going to use only 1 byte. It is not going to use multiple. How 256 values. If you divide by 2, guys, others, could you please confirm? Can you see my screen? Others, online students, can you confirm whether you are able to see my screen? And my voice is also clear, right? Okay. Yeah. In between, okay, got it. Yeah. Now it is clear now? Now it is clear, right? Okay, done. So 0 to 256 is the maximum number. Now out of 256, if you divide by 2, 256 divided by 2 what? 128. So 0 to 128 positive numbers. Similarly 0 to minus 128 negative numbers. Sir, minus 128 but up to positive number 127 only, why is there, sir? Because minus 128 to 0, how many numbers will be there? Minus 128 to minus 1. How many numbers? Total 128 numbers. Now, similarly, 1 to 127, how many numbers? 127. Now 0 if you add, how many numbers? 1 number. Total 256 numbers. 0 also is there now. Okay, 1 to 100 means 100 numbers, but 0 to 100 means how many numbers? 101 numbers. Is the point is clear? That is the reason positive numbers are 128 numbers are there basically. 128 numbers means 0 to 127. Whereas negative numbers are minus 128 to minus 1. So when you are going with this one signed int, this is the maximum possibility. If you are going with the unsigned int, positive numbers are 0 to 256. Why we can't use every time the big int? So wherever there is a requirement, according to that we have to use. So for example, you want to cut the pencil. What you are going to use means sharpener or blade. We are not going to use this with respect to knives. Based on the requirement. For example, you want to cut a big item. Okay, you are going to use either scissor or knife. In that case, you are not going to use the sharpener. So one case, one requirement will be there. According to that, we have to select the data type always. So this is the interview question. Why we can't use every time the big int? Because that is big number now. It can store any number from starting to ending, any number now. Then why we can't use means unnecessarily it wastes the space. Even here in my class, total how many students will be there in the data analytics program, both offline and online? 100 students are there. I know this one, 100 students or 100 or 110 or 120 or 130. Maximum if I take also 200 students will be there in the batch. For 200 students, if I use the int as the serial number, if really 200 students are registered for the program, 200 into 4, how many bytes? 800 bytes will be used. Instead of that, if I use that tiny int, now what happens? 200 bytes of space only will be used. So always, who are working on the database creation part, their main goal should be how to store the more amount of data in less space. For that only they have created all these options. Whatever the possibilities are there. To store any data, irrespective of space, what are the space, less space or more space, that is not important. Then in that case, you can go with anything. Is the point is clear? Next, coming to the decimal. Next one is called as data type is called as decimal. So for count, what is the data types we are going to use? Int. Within the int, we are having either with respect to small int, tiny int, tiny, small, medium, int, medium and int and big int. Next one is big int. So these are the possibilities. Now, whereas for continuous variables, if you go with the continuous variables, for continuous variables, what are the possibilities we are having miss? For continuous variable, we are having the decimal. The data type name is called as decimal. For categorical data, we are having the char, varchar, enum. 3 options are there. Okay, char, varchar and enum, 3 options. Whereas for if you go with the count, for the count variable, we are having in terms of only one option called as int. And but within the int, we are having the different types of int. Now coming to the continuous variable, we are having only one option called as decimal. When you are using the decimal in the bracket, we have to provide two arguments. Two arguments compulsory. The first argument is called as precision. Second argument is called as scale. Whenever you are using the decimal as the data type, two arguments we have to provide. One is precision and second one is called as scale. What is meant by precision means total number of digits. Precision indicates total number of digits. That is before to decimal, after to the decimal, total. Overall number of digits. Scale indicates how many digits should be there after the decimal. For example, here I'm trying to insert 10.5. When I'm trying to insert 10.5, what is the output you are going to, how it is going to store in the backend means 10.500. When I have given a particular column, for example, here I have given the decimal of 5,3. When I have inserted 10.5, automatically it will store not with respect to 10.5 like this. How it is going to store means in the, let us take an example here only. In the Excel sheet, we are having the option. See, automatically 3 are taken. Here I'm entering the 10 point, observe this one. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something I have entered. But it is making round figure to up to 3 decimals. I have entered only 10.1. It is making up to 3 decimals. Automatically it is taking the 3 decimals. In the same way, in the database also will be taken. Okay. If you have entered more decimals also, it will round figure to 3 decimals. If you have entered less also, it will make to 3 decimals. Whatever the scale you have taken, it will log to the scale. So here if you try to enter, it will make to 10.524. Up to 3 decimals, round figure of 3 decimals. Right? Now, if you write clearly decimal of 7, 0, what is the meaning of 7, 0 means decimal value should be 0. 0 decimal values. It will make round figure. No decimal values will be allowed. If you insert also, it will convert to round figure. If you have entered 14.1, it will round figure to 14. Okay. Now, next one is date. So now we are having the next type of data is called as time series data. Now for time series data, what is the data types we are going to use for the time series data means? The first data type which we are going to use is called as date. Date means it will store only the date. In that column, only date will be accepted. So for example, I want to store 25th July of 2018. We have to write 2018 07 025, which is nothing but YYYY MMDD. This is the format which you have to follow. You have to go with this format. Okay. So YYYY MM and DD. Now, so as per the US format, we have to follow. And date along with the time. Next data type we are having is date. Date time. Date time is the next data type. Now date time data type, if you are giving for any column date time, it will accept the date along with the side time also. Where time is 24-hour format. Where the date is 24-hour format. With respect to 24-hour format, you are going to write the dates. Is the points are clear? So these are the multiple options which you are having in the SQL. Date, date time, which is used for time series, continuous variable decimal, for count it is int, for categorical char, varchar and enum. These are the data types. Once you know the data types, we can create the tables by specifying the column name, side to that immediately the data type. Is the points are clear, guys? Now, coming to the next one. After data types, we are going to now discuss the keys. What are the different keys are there and what are the different types of constraints are there? Keys and constraints. Now, whenever you are creating a table, column name is compulsory. Table, what are the table you are writing? In that you have to write column name, mandatory, minimum one column name along with the data type. This is compulsory. You can't change that one. Minimum one column name, and whenever you're using a column, data type is mandatory. Without data type, you can't create the table. A column cannot be assigned. It is a predetermined, means you have to give before itself. Okay. Now, sir, if I don't give automatically, it will take any data type, means no, it will throw the error. It will not take automatically any data type. It will throw the simply the error, right? Next, coming to the constraint. What are the constraint you are having? This constraint is a optional. You may give, you may not give. It is not compulsory. Data type is compulsory. Constraint is optional. Okay. Whenever you are creating the table, data type, what are the data type is there? Data type is compulsory. While creating the table, remember this one. Data type is compulsory. And constraint is, what are the constraint you are having is optional. You may give, you may not give. That is your choice. Okay. Now let us go into this. Key is also same. Key is also optional. What is the advantage of key? You'll understand. Then you'll understand whether it is compulsory or not. You later will discuss. First, let us understand what are the keys and what is the constraints. Different types of constraints, whatever we are having. And I'm going to share the entire notes. What are the notes I'm showing to you in my on this screen? Everything will be shared to you in the Google Drive. Right now, so coming to this. Okay. Now, so in the SQL, we have seen the introduction to database, and we have seen the difference between the database versus Excel sheet, and what is DBMS, what is RDBMS. RDBMS means relational database. So relational database means connecting between the two tables, which is nothing but database schema, and that representation is nothing but ER diagram. And we have also discussed the what are the different types of data are present, and for each data, what is the data types we are having. Okay, according to the data, what are the data types? So for categorical, char, varchar, enum. For count, it is int. For continuous, it is decimal. And for time series, we are going to use date, date time, and timestamp. So what is the third timestamp? Here I have missed the timestamp. What is the timestamp means? Nothing but it is going to take the count of the starting time to ending time. For example, if you are having two columns are there. First column is starting time. Second column is end time. At what time it has started, at what time it has ended. In between, some time will be there now. That time only we are going to store in the timestamp. So representing a movement in time as number allows you easily to obtain the difference between the two timestamp values. So you are going to take the two timestamp values. Timestamp means along with that you are going to add the exact point of time, like whether it is India IST or whether it is UTC or PST or EST, something. So you are just adding the exact point of time, means along with that you are adding the IST, that is timestamp. Now what is the use of this one means we can calculate the time difference between them. For example, the time was started at 9 o'clock, end time is 10:30. So the starting of 9 to 10:30, total 1.5 hour. 1.5 hour means 90 minutes. 90 minutes means 5,400 seconds. Okay, finally 5,400 seconds. Is the point is clear? That we are going to store. So that we'll see the how much time difference is there between them. Is the point is clear? Now, next one is keys and constraints. Now, what are the different keys and constraints we are having? Let's understand one by one. So these are the keys and these are the constraints. Total, we are having the 4 types of constraints are there and 3 types of keys are there. Now, what is meant by constraints? Constraints means they're going to check the some kind of conditions. For example, you have taken here serial number. Let's take an example. Let us start one more time. Here I have given the name. Name should be, what is the data type? I'm going the varchar. Name should be varchar of, I am giving 10 characters or 20 characters or 30, whatever it is. So name I'm giving the varchar of 10. Now in this, what are the possibilities? It is going to accept the string only, and that too 10 characters as the maximum. Now here what I'm going to do means, I'm going to write in terms of not null. Not null is the constraint. What happens if I write the not null as the constraint means, it cannot accept the null values. 100% you have to fill. In the website you will have with respect to star mark. That particular things we have to compulsorily fill. Whichever is in the star mark, we have to compulsorily fill. That is nothing but not null. If any column has not null, but you have missed that value, you have ignored that one, what happens means, it is going to throw the error. For example, I have created a site in the website. There is a form like this: name, age, and your education, or education, where I'm having like this BTech and MTech and others, bachelor's, master's and others. Now how to create in the back, this again submit, down submit will be there. Now name varchar with not null. Next one is age. Age is going to be the int type, that too tiny int, particularly tiny int. No need of to go with the big int or normal int also. Tiny int sufficient. Next, I'm going to take in terms of education. In the education, I'm going to select the anum. In the anum, I'm going to write either B, M, either B letter, M letter or O letter. Out of these three, you have to select any one of them. Like this, I have created the columns with the data types. Along with that, I'm clearly mentioning it cannot be not null, and this can also not be not null. Then what happens? In this both the cases, you have to enter compulsory the value. Whereas age will accept the null values means it will accept. Whenever you have not given not null particularly, by default it will accept the null. Okay, default it will take the null. Is the point is clear? Not null meaning is clear, everyone? Now second one is called as check. Check means it will check the condition. For example, here I am writing in the this one. Here I am after data type, I am writing here check whether it is greater than 18. Check whether it is the value is greater than 18. Now what you are going to do means 100% the value whatever you are going to insert, it should be more than 18 only. For example, a person is trying to enter less than 18, like 14 years. When the person click on the submit button, it will throw the error. Your age should be above 18 only. It will throw the error. That error was written in the code. Okay. Now it is going to check the condition. In order to insert that value, check the condition. After checking the condition only, it will accept. Otherwise, it will not accept. So that is the meaning of check. Next one is default. What is the meaning of default? For example, here I am writing the experience. Now column name is experience. Generally, the person experience will be in terms of maybe int also can be there, decimal also can be there. So what I'm going to do means I'm writing here decimal. Okay, decimal of 2,2. Sorry, 4,2 means if he is 10 years of experience or 12 years of experience or 14 years of experience also, before to decimal, I'll have two values. After the decimal, I'm making to round figure to two values. Overall 4 values. 4,2 means total should be 4 characters, out of which 2 characters should be after the decimal. That is the meaning. Okay. Now here the decimal, what are the decimal is there? I'm going to give like this. And here I'm writing the constraint as default is equal to 0. Default 0. Now what is the meaning of default is equal to 0 means if the person has not entered anything, it will take automatically as 0. automatically it will store the value as 0. That is the meaning of default. If the person has not entered, do you remember the arguments in the functions? Default arguments. What is a default arguments means? For that particular default argument, when you're calling the default argument, if you give whatever the value, it will consider your value. If you don't give your value, it will take automatically. If you give the value, it will take your value only. It will not take automatically. If you don't give only, it will take automatically. That is the meaning of default. Where you have to write these constraints means after the data type side. So see here, tomorrow we are going to discuss the queries. As I've told you that we are going to discuss the queries from the tomorrow, right? So if you want to create a table, see, I'm creating a table called as customers table. In that customer ID is the column name. Side I have written, what is the first one? Data type. After the data type, what I have written? Constraint. Now after that, second column name, for second column name, I have added the data type. Whether there is a constraint? No. For third column, I am adding the data type constraint. Constraint is your choice. It is not compulsory that you have to give. Okay, for this one also, I'm going to give the, with respect, no constraint. For this one, email address, I'm giving the constraint as not null. For number of complaints, I'm giving the default value as 0. If the person has not given any complaint till now, the default number is 0. Right? So like this, I'm going to create in terms of table. So while creating the table, what are the things we required is column name. Anyways, you know what is a column name and why we have to give the column name, because that one only now. Along with the data type and constraints with the keys. Now, if you understand the keys and constraints, automatically this table can be created. This query, when I explain, it will be easy to understand. If you don't know the constraints and everything, then it will be difficult to understand. That is the reason first we are completing the constraints and keys. Okay, is the point is clear? That is the order of preparation. Next, coming to the auto increment. What is auto increment means? Automatically it will take next number. Like whichever you are having the roll number, serial number, like this, those things it will take automatically the next number. You don't need to ask the user to enter. It will take automatically. Auto increment means next number will be selected automatically. The user no need to enter anything. Is the point is clear? For example, you are opening the Naresh IT site. In that, name of the person, education, all these things are there. For example, on the top, enter the serial number. How you can know what is the serial number is going on? 1 is going on, 2 is going on, 10 is going on. How you can know? If you enter 1 and click on the submit, it will throw the error because 1 is already used, maybe. Now, how you can know that one? So that is the reason we will not ask the user only to enter that one. Then how it is going to take means automatically it will take the next number. That value we will not enter, the user also will not enter. It will take automatically. That is called as auto increment. Next one is called as keys. Now what is meant by keys? Keys is nothing but primary key, foreign key, unique key. 3 types of keys are there. To create the table, 3 types of keys: primary, foreign and unique. Now what is the use of primary key? To identify the particular person. For example, in this class, I want to extract the data. Okay, remember, just recollect yourself. Once, please recollect yourself. In the pandas, we are having the table. In the SQL also, we'll have the table only. In the pandas also, we'll have the table only, common. Now in the table, we want to select any particular rows or columns. What we are going to do? We are going to use the iloc or loc or column name, something. Now, for example, I want to use the particular rows. This row, this row, this row I want. Now what I have to do? All the columns or any particular column. What we have to do is, we have to use either iloc or loc. Now when you are using the loc, go with the loc, df.loc. Loc is nothing but what? Names. What are the names you are going to consider? Row names along with the column names. Now, what is the row name you are going to have means what are the index is that is the row names. By default, you will have 0, 1, 2, 3. You can have different names also. Row names are not compulsory, that one only. You can use the different names also as per your choice. Now using the row name and column name, we are going to select the data. Now the same way in the SQL, we are having the serial number, name of the student, email address, phone number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something you are having like this, 6 students and their names, email address, phone number is there. Now I want particularly student number 2. How to select? Index numbers are not there now. Python is not having the indexing. So iLock forget. Now only option is lock option. So here names we have to select. That name how we are going to select means based on any one column. For example, I'm going to select the serial number. I want the student where the serial number is equal to 2. Then that particular serial number student will be selected. Or if I'm going to want the from 2 to 5, I'm going to write between 2 to 5. So here we are going to select any one column and based on that we are going to select the data. For example, if you want to replace in the pandas any one value you want to replace, what you are going to do? Either by using the iLock or lock on the left side is equal to new value on the right side. We are going to replace the value, a single value like this. Now in the SQL, how to replace? Means we are going to select based on one, for example here, name of the person is there, Siva. I want to replace the Siva with Rama. What I'm going to do is replace Siva with Rama where serial number is equal to 2. So I have to select any one particular column. Based on one column, I have to go. That column which you are selecting is also called as primary key. So every table should have one primary key. Then only we can use that table properly. We can select the values as per our choice. We can do the replacement or we can delete the things. For example, I want to delete the Siva. Siva will be multiple. For multiple Sivas are there. Assume. If you write delete name is equal to Siva means multiple Sivas will be deleted. But if you write using the primary key means where you are going to write serial number is equal to means only one person will be there. So primary keys will be automatically unique values only. Repetition is not possible in the primary key. So generally what will be the primary key means a primary key which is having all the unique values, that one only will be there. Like serial number, roll number, hall ticket number, which cannot be different person to person. Like Aadhaar number, PAN card number, never two Aadhaar card numbers will be the same. Two PAN card numbers will not be the same. So where there is no possibility of repetition, that particular column will be considered generally as the primary key. And what is the advantage of primary key means if you want to do in terms of modifications or selection, anything you have to do means we are going to use the primary key only. So primary key is by default not null along with the unique also. What is the usage of primary key means to select the data or to do the modification in the data, we will use the primary key in the SQL. Next one is called as foreign key. Foreign key is used to connect the two tables. When you want to connect the two tables, the two tables connection will be done using the foreign key. Is the point is clear? And next unique key means that particular column will accept only the unique values. It cannot accept the different values. Now you'll have the question with foreign key. Now how you'll understand this foreign key? Unique will be easy because that column has the unique values only. It is easy to understand. Primary key, I told you the purpose of primary key. Foreign key, particularly how to understand this one means when I execute the query, I will show you that one. Okay, clearly I will show you the foreign key importance and how we have to use the foreign key. Up to here everything is clear now? Now let's create the, with respect to the tables. How to create the tables means first we have to install the database. Now the database whatever we are going to install is called as MySQL. Now for installing the MySQL, we are going to have the installation procedure. For example, earlier you have installed already MySQL, continue with the same. Any student in the class already has installed the MySQL, continue with the same. If you have not installed, install now. Okay? Yes. If any student has already installed, continue with the same. Now, if you have not installed, please install the this MySQL and the same PPT will be added for you. Now, MySQL installation is not as simple as Python installation. It is not a next finish. So here care must be there. For example, during this, sir, in the flow I have not seen, sir. In the flow I have done like this. In the same flow only, you have to uninstall and install. If you get the mistake, that is the only solution for that. Sorry, sir, I have not seen, sir. Same sorry, uninstall and install. Use the same sorry for uninstall. There is no other option. So the point is very simple. While installing, care slowly. No hurry burry with respect to. Okay, sir, sorry, sir, I have not seen. Not a problem. Uninstall and install. Okay. If you say anything to me also, my answer will be uninstall and install. Uninstall is also not that much of easy. So finally, what I want to conclude, slowly do everything one by one. Keep the PPT with you. I'm going to convert this one as PDF and I have uploaded in the drive. Now keep the PDF in the mobile phone clearly and see the every slide and click on that slowly. Maximum what happens, extra 2-3 minutes will add it. In 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes, nothing is going to happen. Sir, suddenly I have to go outside, sir. Then don't install. After coming from there, then install. If you are having some other workspace. But while installing, care is more important. Okay. Now coming to this MySQL. Now how to download this MySQL means just type in the Google MySQL download. Okay. MySQL download. Now once you click on the MySQL download, now here just you have to open the first website. MySQL download, you have to type in the Google. What are the website you are going to get? mysql.com downloads. Click on this. And once you click on this, here you are going to get the downloads. Click on the downloads. Here there is an option called as MySQL installer for Windows. Click on this and here you can select in terms of whatever the value you are having, 306.4, click on the download. If you are using other than Windows, for example, then in that case you have to go with the community server. In the community server, you will have with respect to different Linux and even Mac OS also is available. Is the point is clear? So just you try to install the MySQL. First you have to download. After download, double click on that. Once you double click on that, you will have first page like this. Defaulter, server, client, full and customer. Now select the defaulter. It will be by default defaulter. For example, in your case, defaulter is not displaying. Okay, latest version is not showing the defaulter. In that case, go with the full. Second option is full. And click on the next. Here next is there. Click on the next. Now here you will get the again next. For example, if you are having something related to Microsoft products like Visual Studio or some kind of additional products are there, it will ask to connect between them. So just click on the next and yes. Now here there is an option called as execute. Sir, execute is there, next is there in the bottom. Execute is there, next is there. Then what you have to execute, first you have to do is execute followed by next. First step you have to click on the execute followed by next. Okay, whenever there is execute will come, first you have to click on the execute only. Don't click on the next. Next means it will go to the next slide. First you have to execute. The moment you execute, it will only take more time. Out of all of them, this will take more time, around 30 to 40 minutes. And once everything will be installed, all of them will be installed. And once everything are installed and everything you are getting in that green tick, then click on the next. Sir, I'm getting some kind of error or some kind of additional problem. Connect with the mentor and sit along with the mentor and try to install both offline and online students. Online students connect with the mentor and share your screen and show to the mentor what is the problem you are getting so that they'll help you. Okay. See, theory questions, if you ask me, I can answer directly. But if you're asking any coding related questions or if you're asking in terms of installation questions, you have to show me that one, because without seeing that one, I can't tell, because whatever is there on the screen and for what purpose you have got that one, I have to see that one. Okay. So here next, after clicking on the next, you are going to click on the again next. Okay. Here it is showing the name as MySQL. Don't disturb anything. Just click on the next. Okay. Now it is asking the, do you want to keep password? And keep the password and select the, by default it will set the password. Click on the next. Now here you have to enter the password. What are the password you want to save? And remember this password. If you have forgot the password, what we have to do? Uninstall and install. In the future, after 10 years, you have forgot. Install and uninstall. Okay, uninstall and install. So some of the students, they say that, sir, during my BTech, at the time we have installed the MySQL, sir. At the time we have used some password, sir. I am not able to remember now, sir. And now I am unable to open my SQL, sir. Solution is uninstall and install. Because there is no option called as click on forget password, getting one OTP, entering that one. That options are not there here. Okay, simple. So keep always a simple password where you can easily remember. It is not like 100% you have to use one uppercase, one lowercase, one number, one special character. It is not like internet banking password. It is not that much of high security. So just you can keep a simple password. So in my case, I have kept as 1234. Sir, why you are saying your password? Nothing more information is there in that. If you open also, nothing will be there. I'm not having any problem. Right? So 1234. So I have kept a very simple password in my case, which I can easily remember. Right? And after writing here password, click on the next. For example, you have forgot the password, means only one option. Okay. Second, after this, again click on the next and click on the execute. Whenever you get the execute, you have to click on the execute. Sometimes a screen will have execute and next also at a time. In the flow only, we'll click on the next. Here the flow will come. In a fastness, here only that problem will come. When it shows only execute or only next, means there is no problem. But it will show both the things. Back it will show, execute it will show, next it will show, cancel it will show. In the flow, what we'll do, till that we are clicking on the next now. In the same flow, we'll click on the next. We'll not see what is there on the top. At least we'll not see what is there in the bottom. What are the options are there. In the flow, they will go. And one of the students has brought me the same thing. And he has told that, sir, in the flow, I have forgot, sir, to click on the execute and I have executed, sir. And now it is not connecting the establishment, sir. Connection error it is showing, sir. I told very simple. Right? You know answer na? Same thing. Right? Then execute. Click on the execute. After clicking on the execute, finish. So you have to get everything green tick. Okay, finish. And next. And finish. So like this, multiple times finish word will come. Again, next. Don't think that finish means finish. Again, it will come. Next. Now here you have to enter the password. What are the password you have entered earlier? Na? That password you have to enter here and click on the check and you have to get a green tick mark like this. And connection succeeded. You have to get the tick mark like this. Then click on the next. And once you click on the next, execute. Okay, you have to click on the execute and finish. Again, next, finish. And finally, you have to get the screen like this. Till that, you have to go. Then it is finally finished. Is the point is clear, guys? Okay, it is not as simple as Python. Don't say the silly mistakes like in the flow I have done. Sir, time I have not seen. I have to go outside. Don't tell all these silly reasons. For whatever the reason, my answer will be the same. Okay, so better not to do any kind of silly reasons. Is the points are clear now, everyone? Now, once you have installed, now here you are going to open the MySQL Workbench. Now, what is this MySQL Workbench is? Similar kind of Jupyter Notebook for how the Python IDE we are having. For this one also, it is an IDE. Is the point is clear? It is the IDE of this one. And once by using this, we are going to create the tables, and we are going to start one by one by writing the queries. And every query will be ended with the semicolon in the SQL. That is a syntax rule. Okay. So here you are going to get the first one, the database. What are this one is there? So you have to click on this and it will ask the password. What are the password you have entered during the installation? That one you have to write here and click on the OK. Then only it will move on to the page. And here you can see the whatever the databases are available within your system, all the databases will be visible. Every database will be visible. Is the points are clear, guys? Anyone having any questions? So data types, keys, constraints, three things we have completed along with the installation of MySQL. In the tomorrow's class, we'll start executing the queries. The first query will start with the how to create the tables. And after that, class was not completed. Don't close the books. Okay. And we are having here SQL commands. What are the different types of SQL commands? Like how we are having the different types of keywords in the Python. If, now what you know what is the meaning of if, right? For, while, break, continue, end, elif, else, all these words meaning separately, you know, right? So they are having one word, one meaning. Using these keywords only entire Python was created. So similar way, we are having in the SQL also commands. They are called as commands. In simple words, we call it as keywords. Okay. Now using the keywords or commands, based on this only, we are going to execute the queries. So the commands are, these are the commands. And we are going to have the languages. And I'm going to upload the notes. Don't worry about the notes. I'm going to upload the same notes like this. So you can write in the notes clearly what are the different languages and what are the commands. And in the tomorrow's class, next class, that is day after tomorrow, we are going to execute all the commands one by one, except select. By leaving this one, we will do everything. This is exclusively separate day because this is only our work. Data analyst work is only this one. Extracting or selecting the data. Remaining things will be done by different people. None of them will be done by me. We are going to use only the select command. Right? Yes. Please take the commands and languages. First one is data definition language, and these are the commands. Second one is data query language, select command. Data manipulation language, and you are having manipulation means add, remove, replace. And data control language, where you are going to give the permissions, grant and revoke. Grant means you are giving the permission, and revoke means you are going to cancel the permissions. Right? And last one is TCL, that is commit and rollback. What is the meaning of, once I explain what is the meaning of each of them, it will be completed now itself, SQL. Similarly, how the keywords are there. For example, you have to explain the for keyword. What is the meaning of for keyword? Means for each value, it is going to execute the code. That is the meaning of for word. If I explain like that, it is okay without showing the for loop and how the for loop will work. And what is the syntax for that without showing that one. If I say only the meaning of for, is that okay? Or if I say if after that you have to write one condition. If the condition is true, it will execute. If the condition is false, means it will ignore. If I say like this, it is okay without showing the examples or without saying that what is the condition. To write the condition, what are the different operators we are having? We should know now. Similarly, for this also we should know. Can you start the Python directly from the for loops? No, it is not possible. In the same order, whatever we have discussed, in that way only we have to come, then only the concepts will be very clear. You can't go in your own way. If you go in your own way, everything syllabus will be completed. But comparatively, clarity will be more if you follow the pattern. Right, guys? Done? If anyone has any questions, you can ask. If no questions, you can leave. And once we complete the queries, I will share you the task based on the SQL. Right? Now, if you are having any questions, you can please ask what are the questions you are having. Yeah, if no questions, you can leave. Yeah, please install the MySQL database. If anyone has any questions, please type your question. If anyone want me to unmute, raise your hand. Yeah, Chetan. I'm going to upload that. See, Chetan, already the task of NumPy 2D task solutions are already added. Could you please check once? Could you please check once? It is already added. And coming to the Pandas task, I'm going to add now. Pandas task solutions, I'm going to add now. Chetan. Farhad, are you having any question? Farhad. Sir, mostly which database is used in the company? Most of the times it is MySQL. Right? Yeah. Farhad, please type your question, please. Yeah, tomorrow is holiday. Done now?